Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop, Advanced Advisory Skills for Farm Advisors in the Field of Digital Agriculture Technology Solutions, co-organized by the QuantiFarm project and the EUFRAS network. Thank you very much for your interest in this workshop and for taking time to register and join us today. My name is Tanya Demirdzioglu. I'm the project manager in Neuropublic, and I will be the moderator of the workshop today. Before we begin, I would like to present you today's agenda. We will kick off the workshop with a brief presentation of the QuantiFarm Digital Innovation Academy by Mr. Dionysios Solomos, the coordinator of the QuantiFarm project. Following that, we'll have a session on behavioral determinants affecting DATS adoption and strategies for effective communication with farmers, presented by Ms. Caroline van der Weert from TNO. Then Mr. George Papadopoulos from Agricultural University of Athens will present on the digital agricultural technology solutions, types, benefits, cost, and sustainability implications. And finally, Mr. Nikos Kalegis will demonstrate how to use the QuantiFarm toolkit to facilitate decision-making regarding DATS. We'll have a slight change in the program. We will facilitate the Q&A sessions after each speaker's presentation. So I kindly ask you to write your questions in the chat, and we'll have a dedicated time after each presentation to address them. So please ensure that your microphones are muted throughout the workshop. As we have a large audience today, speaking through the microphone will not be possible, so please use the chat for any questions or comments you may have. After the conclusion of the workshop, you will receive an email containing an assessment questionnaire covering the topics presented today. The assessment will take approximately 15 minutes to complete and will be provided via Google Form. Once you submit your responses, you will be able to see your scores as well. And additionally, certificates of attendance will be sent to you via email afterwards. So thank you once again for your participation and engagement today. Before we begin with the first session of the workshop, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Anita Zelme from EUFRAS network, who will offer a few welcome words on behalf of EUFRAS. Anita, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tanya. So welcome. I'm really happy to be one of the organizers and to welcome you advisors here on this event here today. And as we know, for a long time already, agriculture is not only a hobby or the way to spend your free time, it's also a business. So productivity, decision-making, effectiveness, all of those topics are really, really crucial for farmers. Thus also for the farm advisors and rural advisors. So through the DATS or digital agricultural, digital agriculture technology solutions, the decision-making becomes a bit easier for us as advisors to consult the farmers. So QuantiFarm is the project who has created the toolkit and also some of tools to work with that. So I'm really happy about the opportunity for us to learn about it. So welcome Dionysios and welcome QuantiFarm to continue on this training. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Dionysios, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Tanya, and for your kind words, Anita. I will take a moment to share my input presentation for the first session. Just let me know if you can see the presentation on full screen mode. It might take some time to upload.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I would like to thank you for being here and welcome you to the second UI training workshop organized in collaboration with the EUFRAS network as part of our Digital Innovation Academy training activities. My name is Dionysios Solomos and I am the coordinator of the QuantiFarm project. I will start with a few details about our initiative. QuantiFarm is a Horizon Europe project, which comes with a full title assessing the impact of digital technology solutions in agriculture in real life conditions. The project has a duration of 45 months. It started in July 2022 and it has been running now for more than 2 years. The total budget of our project exceeds 7 million euros, and our consortium gathers 32 partners from 20 European countries, representing various stakeholders across the agricultural value chain, forming a large-scale alliance to advance digitalization in the agricultural sector. The problem we aim to address with QuantiFarm is the limited uptake of digital solutions among European farmers. Despite the explosion of interest and investment in the development and use of digital technology solutions over the last decade, actually the adoption rate remains quite low and falls below sectoral expectations. This can be attributed to the limited awareness about these solutions among both farmers and farm advisors, the lack of hard concrete evidence regarding the cost, benefits, and sustainability impact of digital solutions, and sociocultural and behavioral factors that hinder adoption. Other factors include the lack of digital skills, low trust in commercial vendors, high costs, and problems in connectivity, especially in rural and remote areas. In this context, there is an urgent need for independent and reliable assessments of the multiple costs, benefits, and potential sustainability gains of digital solutions, examining both negative and positive aspects, and making this assessment openly available and accessible to the agricultural ecosystem. For us, this is considered a vital condition, a stepping stone for the proliferation of digital solutions on a large scale. Our mission is to accelerate the deployment and adoption of digital agricultural technology solutions, the so-called DATSs, as key enablers for enhancing the sustainability, performance, and competitiveness of the agricultural sector. To achieve this, QuantiFarm evaluates the real-world impact of digital technology solutions when applied in practice, providing tangible evidence of their effectiveness. Our methodology is simple. It involves comparing two parcels with similar characteristics from the same area, one using a digital solution and the other not using the digital solution, across 3 cultivation periods. Operationally, we have established a network of 30 test cases engaging 115 commercial farms across 20 European countries and 10 biogeographical regions, and assessing 38 different commercially available digital agriculture technology solutions. Our participating farms represent a diverse range of agricultural sectors, crops, financial context, offering a comprehensive outlook of how these digital solutions perform in different settings. QuantiFarm is also unique in its approach, as we employ a bottom-up way for the creation of resources, services, and tools for farmers and advisors in support of digitalization. As part of our activities, we have conducted extended research into the behavioral factors affecting the adoption and non-adoption of DATS by farmers. We visited farmers on their place with the aim to obtain first-hand insights into their perspective and concerns regarding the use of digital solutions, and we sought to understand who is taking part and affects the decision-making process. This exercise resulted in the development of an integrated analytical framework which outlines the key determinants affecting DATS adoption across all the stages of the decision-making process. Relevant determinants can be grouped into 4 categories: personal factors related to farmers' background, capacities, and knowledge; external factors pertaining to farm-specific characteristics and aspects of technology use, such as security, ease of use, scalability; balancing factors, which include perceived benefits versus costs, and decision influencers related to framework conditions and social pressures. In our context, the evaluation of DATS is enabled through a robust assessment framework that combines cost-benefit and sustainability impact analysis. It is a composite monetary index complemented by descriptive indicators. The framework, built on over 100 performance indicators, is designed to reliably evaluate the costs, benefits, and sustainability gains of applied DATS both at individual production steps, but also at a whole farm approach. In the screenshot, you can see the indicators examined under these two assessment categories. For cost and benefits, we have the core agricultural inputs, including water consumption, fertilizers, utilities cost, labor cost, and when it comes to revenues, we have the total amount of product sales and additional revenues and cost reductions stemming from the use of the digital solution. In a similar way, for sustainability indicators, we have a list of measures that can be grouped into three categories: economic, environmental, and social. And you can see some of these indicators in this screenshot. In addition, the framework is complemented by a governance mechanism, which secures a high level of credibility and confidence in DATS evaluation. One of the major outcomes of our project is the QuantiFarm toolkit. It is a web-based, user-friendly dashboard to increase information availability about commercially available digital solutions and support evidence-based decision-making regarding the selection and uptake of DATS. The toolkit features 4 decision support tools for farmers and farm advisors, including the cost-benefit calculator, the recommendation system, the benchmarking tool, and the advanced decision support tool, and 1 monitoring tool for policymakers. The toolkit allows users to input individual data and farm-specific characteristics, and this way to obtain customized assessment and personalized advisory services. In total, the toolkit contains information for more than 400 different DATs, while our database is continuously expanding with new digital solutions. More details about the toolkit and its practical services will be provided in our dedicated session later on. Furthermore, QuantiFarm seeks to strengthen capacities to design and evaluate policy measures in the field of digitalization. This is achieved by providing quantified evidence of the aggregate impact of DATS in agriculture, a policy monitoring tool, and actionable policy recommendations. The policy monitoring tool aids policymakers in assessing regional agricultural activity by rendering in situ data from a small number of parcels into region-wide performance indicator for specific crops and sectors using Earth observation data and extrapolation techniques. This way, policymakers can obtain aggregate data and generate analytical reports for their area that can essentially help them evaluate the effectiveness of their existing policies, but also to design targeted interventions and measures at the farm, local, and regional level. QuantiFarm will also deliver policy recommendation on 3 areas: interventions focusing on non-financial barriers and enablers, which is closely linked to our behavioral determinants, regarding the most appropriate business models and pricing schemes for each DATS category, and a list of policy measures to minimize the negative effects of DATS, of potential negative effects that DATS might have on farmers' livelihood and socioeconomic and socio-environmental impact. Central to our efforts for advancing digitalization in the sector is the QuantiFarm Digital Innovation Academy. QuantiFarm DIA is a comprehensive capacity building program designed to strengthen the capacities of farm advisors and rural consultants in the field of digital farming. The scope of our academy is to empower advisors with the knowledge and skills needed to deliver innovative, personalized advisory services regarding the selection, uptake, and application of DATS tailored to the unique needs and specific characteristics of individual farms. DIA employs a hybrid train-the-trainer and direct end-user training scheme, offering knowledge in 4 main areas: the different types of DATS, their benefits, cost, and implications of sustainability, the QuantiFarm toolkit, how to use it in order to support farmers in making decisions regarding DATS selection, reflecting on individual needs and characteristics, behavioral determinants for DATS adoption, and factors that determine the optimal performance of a solution on a farm, and finally, guideline for using DATS in real-life production conditions and adopting appropriate interventions to increase operational efficiency and yield increased productivity results. In total, DIA prescribes 4 mechanisms for upskilling farm advisors in the field of digital farming and DATS. The first includes the organization of 2 EU-wide workshops addressed to our partners farm advisors, but also an external audience of farm advisors in collaboration with thematically relevant networks like EUFRAS. DIA also includes the organization of 10 national training sessions addressed to local farm advisors in selected test case locations. We will also develop a digital educational platform enabling asynchronous learning and providing self-paced learning opportunities for learners. The idea is our digital educational platform to resemble the structure of a typical online course and comprise the entire package of educational resources developed in the context of our activities alongside supplementary resources for further investigation. The final mechanism is to integrate DIA into formal education. We will work on integrating parts and components of our training program into university and vocational and educational curricula targeting future advisors. Following training and under the guidance of DIA, the advisors who have received training, we will be able to set up innovative advisory services in their countries, raising awareness regarding the potential benefit of DATS in specific contexts and crops, and actively engaging and supporting farmers in the selection, uptake, and practical application of a digital solution tailored to their farm profiles and operational needs. Here you can see the full specification of our training program. As mentioned, DIA employs a hybrid train-the-trainer and direct end-user training scheme, combining both synchronous and asynchronous methods of training provision. It is also important to say that our capacity building events follow the format and principles of EIP agri-seminars. The program is primarily addressed to farm advisors, rural consultants, and members of digital innovation hubs who are interacting daily with farmers and provide support regarding digitalization. The recommended background for trainees is to have previous working experience as agricultural advisors and proficiency in English. Having a formal agricultural degree is optional. The curriculum has a modular format consisting of 7 independent sessions, 4 of which are dedicated to DIA didactics and training delivery methods, and 3 of them on the core subject areas of our program. The complete training program has a duration of around 10 hours in terms of delivery time. The program is referenced to the 5th level of the European qualification framework, which corresponds to the highest level of vocational training for farm advisors. In total, our curriculum seeks 41 identity learning outcomes, and the multiple choice questionnaire is used as the main method to assess skills and knowledge acquisition by participants. Finally, all participants in our capacity building events will receive a certificate of attendance. Here is the curriculum structure. As you can see, the modules highlighted with bold green are part of the end-user training scheme. I will run very quickly the sessions. The first session is focused on the methodological part of how to organize a national training. The second session on the didactical part of the trainer, and the third session on the methodological part of adapting the training on the use of a DATS to the different sectors, national settings, and environments. Session 4 looks into the various categories and types of DATS, their benefits, cost, and sustainability impacts. Session 5 on how to use the QuantiFarm toolkit and teach practical services. And Session 6 delivers recommendations and practical guidelines under which conditions and which way DATS deliver best results for a farmer. The final session is also about methodological aspects, providing training and help to advisors regarding on how to properly use all the above modules. Apart from our core operational objectives, DIA aspires to have a long-standing substance and effect on digital farming education. We seek for increased sustainability that will be achieved through the following ways: through the availability of all DIA educational resources via our purpose-made open digital educational platform, through the organization of seminars by thematically relevant networks and digital innovation hubs using the DIA resources, through the integration of DIA components into formal education and especially university and vet curricula of relevant agricultural specialities, and finally through the integration of DIA elements into the SECRA competency program, which is one of the most prominent accredited professional frameworks for farm advisors and consultants. Before we start with our core training sessions, I would like to remind you of the intended learning outcomes of today's workshop, which include to gain a deep understanding of the factors that affect the adoption and non-adoption of DATS by farmers, to obtain comprehensive insights into the various categories of DATS, their potential benefits, cost, and impact on sustainability, to learn how to use the QuantiFarm toolkit in order to support farmers in selecting and using DATS tailored to their unique needs and characteristics, and finally, to effectively support farmers in using DATS in real-life production conditions and adopting appropriate business and operational models. That's all from me. Back to you, Tanya.
Very much, Dionysius. We have a question regarding if the presentations will be sent out. As we said in the beginning, we are planning to upload the workshop in our YouTube channel in QuantiFarm projects. So you will be able to see the whole session from there, and of course the presentation as well. For the ones who joined us recently, I wanted to remind that the Q&A session will be after its speaker's presentation. So if you have any questions regarding the session, please write your questions in the chat, and we'll have a dedicated time after each presentation to address them. So Caroline, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanya, and great to see all of you online here. I will start with sharing my screen, which will support the story I want to share with you today. So hopefully that goes well. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, and then let me see if I... So, and now it is full screen. So I can't see you, unfortunately, but indeed after this session, I'll hear if there's questions. Nevertheless, there is a little part where I would like you to use the chat. So, but we'll figure out how we will be doing that. For the past 2.5 years already, I've had the honor of leading the work on what behavioral elements are actually behind this data on DATS adoption, as Dionysios already shared with us. What can we find behaviorally that is actually behind a certain reluctance to adopt on a greater scale? And I'm always very proud to say that in QuantiFarm we really took the opportunity to delve into that, and with that we drew many insights and ideas for advisors in actually the conversation about DATS, and that's what I want to share with you today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the determinants we found. It's determinants is kind of a research term, but it's you could call it factors. So what are all these aspects of behavior that we have found to influence DATS adoption, and some more practical, pragmatic strategies for you, what this means in your communication with farmers. Yes, and this we're going to do this with the goal for you to really understand these determinants behind DATS adoption. So what are we actually talking about? I'm going to show you even a picture that Dionysios already showed. So the big table there, which we certainly completely comprehended. You won't learn that by heart, but a main outcome is for you to understand how to apply such insights. Yeah, and with all that, let me stress that it's of course intertwines with all the knowledge that you already have on interacting with farmers. So why this behavioral part? Well, of course, I don't need to tell you, and in your profession, that we're not only dealing with purely rational economists here. Often farmers are very well able of making rational and economic choices, but being a farmer is not a profession. Being a farmer is a way of life. And this also means that decisions you take are not purely an economic decision, but decisions on how something would fit into your life, how something would fit into the way you work, what it means for how you see your future, for instance. We have found that insecurity about succession are really related to insecurities about adopting new technology, for instance. So there's this ecosystem, there's this whole context taking place, and that is, where we had the honor of being able to delve into for the past years, and must say we found a lot. So how did we find these things? We collected data, behavioral data. And we did that actually in two big ways. We did that in what we would call a qualitative sense, visiting lots and lots of farms, mostly test cases related to QuantiFarm, but also deliberately farms beyond QuantiFarm, because of course we should be transparent on that. The QuantiFarm population is already quite a niche, maybe let's say even biased population towards a certain openness towards that. So we also complemented our research with non-related and non-adopters, and so we were welcomed so warmly all over Europe, and also. When you hear stories, they often say so much more than graphs and data. For instance, the Italian wine entrepreneur, that was really someone who bought a farm at a later stage, so not inheriting from his father. And he said, for me, a DATS is really an inheritance of knowledge that I missed that I would normally get from a father. Very interesting starting point there. A Belgian pig farmer, a woman really struggling to get by, but also with a very entrepreneurial mindset. And we were discussing actually her interaction to government and policies and subsidies. And she said, if there would be a healthy market and I wouldn't have to compete with, for instance, a pig farm just over the border with different regulations. So if there would be a healthy market and I wouldn't need subsidies. So this is, for us, this was remarkable to see. So here we have someone struggling with these variations and these insecurities about regulations. Or in Portugal, a farmer who says, for me, digitalization is reducing risk. This man actually tried to digitalize everything. Interestingly, we've also spoken to farmers who find DATS risky. Will it take away some of my knowledge? Will it, where does my data go? One of the most important things. So for an advisor, we'll get to this more in detail later, it's really where does a certain risk aversion actually originate? And the German dairy farming, you see also a picture of him here below. He says, well, I feel like I'm a partner with the DATS, and that is the best way. This remark is, I think, accounts for most of the farmers that we spoke to. By the way, our reports on really the farm discussions and pictures are available upon request, because not every farmer is really very open to have it public online, but on request we checked with every farmer. It's okay. If you're interested, please reach out. Second thing we did, besides the really farm immersions, or really going to the farms, is we also collected data via surveys amongst the 30 test cases that Dionysius already mentioned. A lot of data on that. Of course, our deliverable, our final deliverable is actually out very soon. We just finished it, and that will then become available. And there you have all the data and all the analysis. But these are just two things that I wanted to point out. On the left, you see the differences between the non-adopter group and the adopter group, and what we see a relatively distinct difference in tech affinity. Tech affinity is really that you have a starting point of being interested in new technologies. And not so surprising, I'd say, is that amongst the adopter test cases, there is already, if you look at the green part, I have a personal interest in digital innovations in farming. So already, and that's no surprise that they are actually our test case farmers. Well, if you compare that to the same green column below, I have a personal interest, it's much lower. So personal interest in digital innovations would not necessarily be the starting point for actual non-adopters. But there could be other starting points, maybe even inspired by the previous slides. Maybe it's really insecurity about changing regulations and how you can actually keep a bit of control, for instance. And that's, of course, where you as an advisor are very well able to figure that out. What I also found very interesting in the data is on the right-hand side. There is a cutoff point where the whole population, you see that both for adopters and non-adopters, there's this point where there's the popularity of completely autonomous systems lowers. So this relates to the remark of the German dairy farmer earlier. I want DATS to be a partner, but I don't want DATS to take over completely. And we have actually spoken to farmers that switched back to less autonomous DATS. So, for instance, from a milking robot system back to a partly digitalized system, because they felt they were giving up control. Interesting insight, I'd say. So what we also did is, and here's where I would like to use the chat in a moment. What we found is that after our first year of data collection is that there are some areas to dive into more specifically, because we have touched upon them in the first data collection and thought that needs some more attention. That's 3 topics. That is gender differences in DATS adoption. The other topic is autonomy. This exactly relates to that, what I showed you earlier. Why do we have this cutoff point, let's say? What's going on there? We have called that autonomy. So what's going on between technology and autonomy? And the third one is, maybe not surprising, cultural differences. Can we say something about cultural differences? So we did a deep dive study on those 3. And before I tell you something about that, I would like to ask you a question, and let's see if I can. So I was just wondering if you can throw in the chat, of every 10 talks you have about DATS, how many of those talks do you have with women? Just if you have a go of writing a number in the chat. I think you can see my screen. I don't know if it's possible to use the chat by the participants.
Yes, all participants can use the chat. However,
Okay.
still we have only one answer.
Yeah, which is 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So out of 10, 2. Okay. Yeah. So human 1. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. It's to get a bit of an idea. 7 even, Svetlana. Okay, that's interesting. Unfortunately, we can't go into the dialogue, but that's an interesting figure. Yeah. Okay. Now let me switch back to my presentation. No, this is the other one. And then I have a second question for you before I go back into the content. Do you or the company that you represent maybe work in different countries? Yes or no? Oh, okay. Well, fortunately, it's not. I will not spend the next 20 minutes on cultural differences, so I'm happy about that, because it's, I think, for most of you, not the most relevant part. I have a little bit to say about that. For those who are interested in that, there is more data on it in our deliverables, and of course, always open to go into more detail with you one-on-one if you would like. But this gives me a good idea, and also what to put the focus on now. Thank you. So what have we found about these deep dives? So just in 2 slides to give you an idea. There's not many female farmers that we have actually, let's say, female, the lead farmer, let's say. It's usually a man that we have in our data collection. Nevertheless, we have seen many very active, very involved spouses. And of course, also a few lead farmers who are female. Interestingly, and also literature backs that up, is that female farmers on average are more working on organic farms and very open to sustainability, and smaller scaled farms. There's a correlation there. Nevertheless, it is an important and growing population. We see that there's more female farmers, especially in that organic field, venturing, entrepreneuring into farming. So it is a target group to really consider. And then just 2 things I picked out of all the information we have is females really feel not addressed in the way they are approached regarding DATS. So around the events or brochures, or so something to consider. And just, yeah, what we found funny is the laying hen concept that we heard in Ireland. The wife who is doing so much more around the farm, actually to make that the farmer has the time to do all the work. Nevertheless, the female is so much involved actually in all the administrative processes on the farm that she would actually be a very important a target group, let's say, for digitalizing certain elements of that. So this is what I want to say about it shortly, but also in the documents, there's more information about this if you're interested. And then about that autonomy, what I was saying. Well, I think how I can summarize this slide is by the fact that DATS are to be positioned as a partner. It is a DATS that gives insight, and it's a decision that the farmer makes. And DATS that are completely autonomous and also make their own decisions. For instance, the complete milking robot, it's still, for a lot of farmers that we spoke to, 1 step too far, and something that you really have to smooth into. So yeah, this is what you see a lot. So a great affinity to partner together with a digital tool. And something we found on culture, that's the last bullet, that's not a quote, but just a finding, is that we do see a difference between how trust works in countries. That you see a tendency more in Southern European countries that people are more likely to trust people on the basis of knowing each other. And in Northern Europe, knowing each other is less important. It's about your role or even status and what you have to bring. Just an insight I wanted to share with you. But as most of you, I think, are not necessarily dealing with these cultural differences, it's just a little insight to share. So many factors that I've shared with you, we have brought them together in this framework. And you don't need to know this framework by heart. We also made a tool for you as advisor to to work with all these insights, which is a bit easier than this one. But just wanted to show you how we brought this together. And also that we want to say it's a phasing, it's a journey. It doesn't happen in an instant. DATS adoption goes from encountering something, getting a sense of something, to a thorough consideration process, and then to making a decision, and also a usage phase. Even in that phase of trialing and usage, things can go wrong, and adoption is not only about buying something, it's also about working with something. So it's just as important. Yeah, we always say there's a lot of differences. Each farmer is unique, but there's also something that all over Europe we see. All farmers have a worry about climate change, and DATS could really help, for instance, with precision irrigation to deal with that. Uncertainty about change regulations, which could also be seen as a potential barrier, because people are like, what are the time spans that I can still invest? I'm not sure. Autonomous, I talked about that, what driver is there, and also changing consumer perception. So people expect more from sustainability from farmers, but also a low price. I think we all know that tension there. There's also a journey we made for you as an advisor. How do you match during this process? And actually, what you see here, you of course get my slides, so you can read through it comfortably. A main message here is the presence, the advisor's presence during this journey that I sketched. And especially, I would say, in those later phases, how is the support mechanism there? Or are you bringing the farmer together maybe with other farmers that are experimenting? And so, yeah, we see that you can, or propose that you can match the activities based on these phases of DATS adoption. Yeah, then I'm gonna go on. Yes, so it's of course a lot of information and a lot of data, and yeah, we have thought of a mechanism to make this more pragmatic, actually, for you to use this in your work and in your dialogues with farmers, and we call this We Thrive. Really also is to stick up for our farmers, say we don't survive, no, we thrive. And we thrive is what you call mnemonic, so the letters of words that together form a new word, and it stands for how you prepare before your visit, really understanding more of the context, the earnest, so the sincerity with which you open the conversation, and then especially those topics that would then together craft this idea of drivers and barriers for adopting DATS. So the affinity towards technology, the heritage, and also what legacies there are on the farm that you have to consider. The risks, we touched upon that. If there is a risk aversion, where does it come from? Individual characteristics, which even is gender, as we talked about. Females really focus on some different things than men. The long-term outlook, succession, and also who else are involved? Who else is going to work with the DATS, actually? And are we addressing those persons too? And this slide is then tips on then really using this in this conversation. What I would like to especially point out to you, though, because I realize now that this is a lot of information, is that very soon, I hope maybe next week, we will have the publication of the guidelines where all this information is extensively written down. I'd like to show you quickly. You can choose to go to the farm advisory part, but of course you can also check the policymaker part. That's all good. And here we have everything explained. Also links to supporting tools such as the toolkits and the recommendation tool that you hear about later. Stories that we created about the farmers. Maybe you have seen these already, but these are really stories to understand more the data that we have found and the different situations that you can encounter. And here is packed with tips for you to do in your conversations based on what we have found. So these will soon be published and you'll be the first to know. Some of these parts in the guidelines, well, I mentioned here, for instance, we know that social media is increasingly important to encounter DATS. So how are you using also social media in your work as an advisor? We also know that especially in DATS, the DATS designers, builders are also someone that farmers really would like to speak to in the process. Have you teamed up, for instance, implementing, try to create a map of the changes also in the way of working that are being impacted. And in the usage phase, set goals together and see how and evaluate. Well, just some tips and a lot more than in the guidelines. And I'm gonna wrap up just a note, because I think it will be in the next presentation, but we're also working together closely with the people working on the tooling from QuantiFarm, so that we'll make sure that what we find behaviorally will also find its place in the recommendation tooling, because there's of course a lot of overlap, for instance, about risks that you can really, based upon your estimation of someone's risk tendency, that you can click certain aspects and then see what recommendations come out. Yeah, so I think big story, but we also have this material for you if you want to check and hear more. I'm very happy to also have separate dialogues if you have particular questions. And yeah, I'm open to your questions now. So I'll go to the chat.
I don't see any questions, so I think we can move forward with the next session. So Tanya, please introduce George from the Agricultural University of Athens, and the floor is yours, George, to start with your presentation.
Thank you very much. I will try to share my screen. I hope that you can now see the screen. And now you should see it full screen. Okay, am I correct?
It's working perfectly. Yeah.
Perfect. So, good morning, everyone. I'm George Papadopoulos. I'm a PhD candidate and a research associate from the Agricultural University of Athens, specifically under the lab of Smart Machine Systems, which is led by Professor Spiros Foutas. So, what it brings me here today is actually a role in the project is to lead the design of one of the tools that are included in the QuantiFarm toolkit, which is the cost and benefit calculator tool, which pretty much stands out as a repository of different kind of digital agriculture technological solutions, which as an end user, a farmer can log in, select one DAT, and based on the literature review that we did to have an overview of different kind of benefits of the stats, he can actually assess if a DAT could be beneficial for his specific needs. So this presentation is about the types, the benefits, the cost, and the sustainability implications that we do have, which were came up through our efforts towards this this direction. So when we're talking about digital agriculture technological solutions, we're pretty much talking about leveraging digital tools for data-driven decision making, aiming at the implementation sometimes of precision agriculture and the optimization of resource use, empowering the farmers to effectively enhance crop and livestock production. The advantages, the main ones that we have seen by using these technologies is that we use the power of technology to optimize the agricultural processes. I mean, the harvest, the monitoring of the crops, the seeding, applying fertilizers and other kind of inputs. Then we can use the data to improve the decision making in the agriculture sector. We also address the evolving needs of the agriculture industry. In some cases, we need to somehow mechanize all these processes. We also contribute to the sustainability of agriculture, as from all this data that the technologies are offering us can help us to take better decisions and better understand what is the impact overall of the agriculture practice in crop and livestock. We also managing sometimes to increase profitability for the agriculture sector, as well as strengthen the resilience of agriculture to global agriculture challenges. These are the main and key advantages that are offered by these stats. We will start my presentation with first the DATs that are used in crop production, and then we will move with some DATs that are used in livestock production. So in order to be able to build the cost and benefit calculator and a repository, there is the need to categorize somehow all this data, but using this categorization doesn't mean that these categories are not cannot work together and build something new. For example, we have farm management information system, variable rate application systems, we have recording or mapping technologies. We have now robotic systems or smart machines using artificial intelligence. We have decision support systems using data to help the farmer and the advisor to decisions. And we also have controlled traffic farming technologies. And by what I said earlier is that we can have, for example, an FMIS with a DSS system all together as one technological solution. Working together, also you can have a VRA with a CTF technology. Okay, so all these are the main categories, but in most of the cases, we found them cooperating and working together as a solution. I will start with the farm management information system, which helps us with data collection, processing, storage, and analysis. And it assists farmers to manage their fields and operations and resources. So pretty much during all the activities that you're doing, all the operations, the seeding, the applying of different kind of inputs, you are collecting data, either by using a DAT or by doing something with not a DAT, by you. Okay, so all this information can go to cloud either automatically or as an end user, you can directly put it put it there. And then these kind of systems, they analyze the information and provide you an output or an analysis so that you can see the results and everything. So how you can use these systems through web applications and mobile services. So you do have direct access to all the data that are related to your farm. And in most of the cases, they are very user-friendly. They automate data processing. They adapt according to the crop needs. And they are they're very good either for small farmers or if you are a large scale agribusiness, let's say. Then we have the decision support systems, where it's pretty much the same with the FMIS systems, but now they use all this data to provide you with an advice. Okay, so we have here the data storing, the processing and analysis, but it also provides prompt advices to farmers and enable better decision making. Again, here there are web applications and mobile services, and the farmer has direct access, but now we have automate data processing, and we integrate expert knowledge. So an example of this knowledge is that you can connect, let's say, a weather station to a decision support system, and based on the data provided by the weather station, they can inform you about when to apply a pesticide, or when the weather is good to go for spraying, or when to seed, and other kind of advices, because they're built based on the expert knowledge. So they somehow stand like an advisor, your personal advisor for your field and your crop. And during our efforts in order to find the benefits that this system have, for arable, we see benefits by increasing the yield, or saving pesticides, or fertilization saving. In fruits also, we see similar results. In vegetable also, we saw water savings, pesticide savings, and yield increase. And also there are quite many benefits in vineyards and orchards also. But all these benefits are for specific cases, and every time that the farmer would like to operate and use a technology, he could deliver different kind of benefits, because each time the data are different, and the field is different, and you cannot be sure about what kind of benefit you will receive. But these are the main categories that we have seen from other cases. And also we have some environmental kind of benefits. We have the water consumption reduction. We have the herbicide saving. We reduced water use by 42.1, let's say, percentage. So enabling these systems can also be good for the environment, which is very good. And now moving on to the, I'm sorry for this, to the variable rate application system. So and we use this system so that we can variable rate application to variable to use different rates of inputs, such as fertilizer, water, pesticides, and pest products. Yes, depending on the specific needs of the crop at different location spots within the field. So imagine that you have your field, and you used to apply the same dosage to every spot in your field. So now you can use index-based maps or yield maps from the previous season, or soil maps, let's say, and based on this, if you do have a tractor with a GPS, you can apply, let's say, different kind of different rates among to the needs of the specific spot. Okay, so the overall purpose is the efficient use, or in some case decrease of inputs, while maintaining the yields. And we do have, in order to perform the variable rate application, we do have real-time systems, so that you can have a sensor in front of your tractor, and collecting data in real time and applying the fertilization or the pesticide in the same time. But you can also use, as I told you earlier, some previous created maps that you can do it. You have a system and it can reach the map and proceed with a different application. And also here we have seen a very a good variety of benefits. Let's say we have fertilization savings, water savings, and pesticide savings for arable crops. In fruits also, we've seen fertilization savings and very good pesticide savings. In vegetables also, we had 15 to 25 fertilization saving and 30 to 43 pesticide savings. The same also for vineyards and for orchards, with specific for orchards, we saw also a case that we have a fuel saving. Because when you are doing an autonomous VRA solution, you need also to use, let's say, the CTF technology, which uses specific path. So you're also saving fuel to do this. And there are also many environmental benefits. We use less irrigation and water usage. The nitrogen emissions are reduced by 42%. We see also around 50% reduction of N fertilizers in orchards. We have also reduced the greenhouse gas emissions in vegetables, and we have also seen savings on pesticide use and fertilizer usage. The next category is a more simple one, which as we know, it's the category which is used mostly by all the other categories, because we're talking about recording or mapping technologies, which are the sensors. So we have data recording, plant and soil health, environmental data, etc. And it helps farmers in timely and correct decision making. This means that they might work together with an FMIS, with a DSS, or with a VRA technology, especially when we're talking about the real-time one. But also they stand also by themselves, so that the farmer can have, for example, a weather station and check specifically for his field the specific weather that there is, or also connect the weather station with a soil moisture sensor and see when it's appropriate to apply an irrigation, for example. Okay, we also have sensors like UAVs with cameras, multispectral or hyperspectral. We use them to monitor plant vigor, soil health, nutrients, humidity levels. And overall, the reason for using all these recording or mapping technologies is to have better decision making in operations. Either we're talking of for irrigation using the soil moisture sensor, or other kind of sensors, or fertilizer application using from a simple NPK sensor to a more, let's say, developed UAV like the one with the multispectral camera, and for spraying operations. And also here are the kind of benefits that we can see, we have seen. We have noticed yield increase, we have noticed fertilization savings and water savings in arable. In fruits, we have water savings, and in vegetables we have seen 35% of fertilization saving, 25% of water saving. All these kind of benefits are not only from papers and publications, but we also have used knowledge gained from other projects like Smart Ikes, like IO2F, FairShare, which had pilots, and they somehow tested these technologies and provide these kind of benefits. So we are talking about real commercial farmers in most of these cases. So the benefits that are presented here are mostly from actual cases, and we see also in orchards some fertilizer savings. It's good also for the environment, as we have seen the CO2 emissions to be reduced. Also save the herbicide application 30% here, and also a good percentage of reduction of N fertilizer, especially in orchards. Then we have the controlled traffic farming systems. You can see all these photos here. The overall aim is to minimize the soil compaction or erosion, which is caused by the extensive rate of movement of agricultural vehicles. So, when you're a farmer and you need, let's say, to do an application using your tractor, you most of the times don't know which lane to take, or if you are not very well experienced, you do the lane again and again, and you have to remember every time which lane you have passed. So using these systems which define lanes, we have farmers plan and design specific traffic lanes for machinery movement. We ensure this with these systems that you will pass only once from a lane, and also collect data during this passing. We're for these systems, we're talking about simple systems that are available as precision steering systems. So if you do have an old tractor, you can just replace and buy a kit which comes with a steering and a screen to give you a GPS, let's say, and adapt it and adapt it to your agriculture tractor. Which for me is very simple, and also this system is not stands alone. It can stand alone, but for me, it comes always with a VRA technology, or with a specifically for a recording or mapping as a sensor, which comes over so that he can also collect data using this technology. And here you can see also the benefits of this. We have seen water savings. This water savings, I know that it looks strange to you because we have a system which goes to the tractor, and what has to do, what has to do with this, with an irrigation system. But I need to remember the first thing TTF technologies had, which was the soil erosion and compaction. So by reducing the compaction and erosion, we have better the transfer, let's say, of the water. So this is why we have such benefits. We also have benefits on saving labor. So now that the farmer can do specific lanes of his own, he saves time. He doesn't have to pass 2 or 3 times, and he ensures also the good result of his operation. On fruits, we have seen fertilization savings, water savings again, and fuel savings. In vegetables and vineyards, we have yield increase, fertilization savings, also water savings, and the same here goes for the orchards. And regarding the environmental benefits, we have seen increased nitrogen efficiency 40 to 80%. This is due to the reduced soil erosion from the tractors, and we also see reduced fertilizer usage and reductions of the N2O emissions in vegetables and in vineyards accordingly. Then the final category for crops are the robotic systems, which they are automated smart machines and robots equipped with sensors and AI, artificial intelligence. I know that you hear a lot of this currently to perform tasks such as the planting, the mechanical weeding, the harvesting, and the crop monitoring. Here in the photos, you can see some examples of this. We have here the robotic, which is a robot platform that using different smart implements, it can do the seeding, autonomous seeding, and autonomous mechanical weeding. You also see here in the next picture a smaller, let's say, robot to do the harvest, and also in the two photo photos at the down. You see also a smaller robot so that they can perform autonomous mechanical weeding in vineyards. So we have automated tractors programmed to perform spraying, seeding, or other operations. Fully, all these robots, they're using GNSS or LiDAR sensors so that they can autonomously navigate in the field. We have harvesting robots, which in most of the cases identify and recognize the ripe fruits and vegetables with cameras and automatically harvest them, and they reduce the need for manual labor during the harvesting. We have mechanical weeding robots locate and remove weeds using cameras. In some of the cases, for example, this robot that you see here, They have cameras in front and at the back, and using the smart implements, they're performing the weeding by identifying, let's say, the weeds and the plant. So once using the camera, it identifies this. It automatically selects to, let's say, cut the weed and keep safe the crop. This is very important, and this is where AI comes and machine learning. So this is why we have AI here. And lastly, we have the UAV drones, which are equipped with multispectral, hyperspectral cameras or other thermals. I told you before, standing out as recording or mapping technologies, carrying out sensors and providing maps. But here we have also the use of spraying and fertilizer applications. So you know that we are currently start using the drones and the UAVs in order to perform spraying operations, especially in crops that it's very difficult to move in with a tractor. For example, if you do have a rice crop, with rice, you know that the water is 20 centimeters from your feet, so it's very difficult to go in with the tractor. And here we have the UAVs, which stands out as a good solution in order, let's say, to do a pesticide application. But in this case, and with all of this, we still need to examine about what are the results and how they can, if they are actually comparable with the traditional operations that we do, that they're good and they can support. And again, here we do have seen very many benefits here for arable fruits and vegetables. We have seen pesticide savings up to 45, labor saving. Especially the most benefits that we notice are related to labor, because for example, if you're going to do the harvest by yourself, it's going to be a very difficult task. You need too many workers to perform it. So now that we can have robots, that we can perform it more easily and rely on this technology. So the most benefit, the key benefit here is the labor, but we have also seen reductions in fuel, in pesticide, and in fertilization. And the environmental benefits here, we have noticed some reduced fungicide usage of up to 90% and a reduction in pesticide material up to 45%. And moving on, we have also technological solutions for livestock production. The categories pretty much here are the automatic milking systems called AMS. Then we have animal health, welfare, and monitoring systems. And finally, we have the feed and live weight measurement. So the first thing here is that you see is the automated milking systems, which is what the name is for. They automate the milking process, enhancing labor efficiency and ensuring consistent and stress-free milking in environments. So here you can see also two examples. We have a robotic milking system and automated milking parlors. And the different kind of benefits that you see here is that they reduce labor costs and increase productivity and milk yield efficiency over the time. And we have data-driven insights, because through the use of these systems, we collect data and it provides real-time data on milk yield quality, as well as on data on cow health. And there is also a chance for scalability, because it's suitable for farms of various sizes, supporting growth and expansion. Also, here are some economic and environmental benefits we have seen in using these automatic milking systems in different types of animals, for cows, for buffalo, as for small ruminants. We have seen an increase in cow productivity by 10 to 15. We also see enhanced cow milk yield 5 to 10%, the productivity growth of 3.1 per year. Also, we have noticed this using these systems, and we also have some environmental benefits which are related to lower energy consumption by at least 35% in dairy farming and in reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, specifically for dairy cattle farming of up to 6%, let's say. Then we have the next category, which is about sensors and all systems that we have for animal health, welfare, and monitoring. These are systems that are continuously monitor animal behavior, movement, physiological parameters, and oyster cycles to maintain health, welfare, and support breeding management. Example of these technologies are some wearable sensors. You have seen these ear tags that some animals are using, or heat detection collars, for example. We also have GPS tracking systems so that we can detect the movement, especially when we're talking about the herb and they are outside. But also in cases when we do have a farm inside, let's say a broiler, we can have some cameras to detect patterns in behavior, the movement, and other things like this. So, and here we have the as benefit the early disease detection, identifying health issues early, reducing treatment costs, and improving recovery rates. We're talking also about real-time monitoring as it tracks vital signs and activity levels, and this help us to immediate enable the intervention in case that that is needed. We have also heat stress management, which identifies and mitigates stress caused by high temperatures. We have these heating collars, which provide this information, and we can continuously monitor the heat of the temperature of the animal, and overall it improves the well-being. And finally, we have the improved animal welfare. The monitor stress, behavior, and comfort to ensure optimal living conditions. Also here we have some economic and environmental benefits. We have seen an increase in milk yield increase as we try here to, let's say, provide a different situation for a living situation for animals and sustain them as healthy as possible. We have seen also environmental benefits like reducing the global warming potential. For every 5% increase in detection of infected cows, let's say, we have also seen decrease in energy consumption by 20 to 30%, especially in poultry and pigs. And we have some other kind of benefits, let's say, predicting conditions such as fever, cysts, mastitis, pneumonia, and black quarter, and foot and mouth disease in cows with more than 95% accuracy. We don't have only benefits regarding reducing or increasing something. We also need to see how accurate are these technologies working and are operating, which is very good in order to be able to further develop them and produce new ones. And finally, we have the feed and live weight measurement, which monitor and optimize feeding practices and track live weight for improved productivity and profitability. Here you see also two technologies in the photos here. We have precision feeding systems as technologies and weighting scales and automated feeders. Also here in some cases, you can have, let's say, an automated milking system, which also has this feed and live weight measurement. And other kind of technologies also support this. And pretty much the benefits here are the optimized feed efficiency. It tracks individual feed intake and reduce waste and cost. We have seen a labor reduction because now the farmer do not have to keep up measuring every day or every 2 days the animals, and this process has been made autonomous. So we have seen this labor reduction to improve animal growth because we have this continuously monitor of the weight, which the weight of the animal, so that we know now how much weight needs to be gained in order to ensure proper nutrition and growth rates. We also have the data-driven decision making, as we do have information about the weight of of animals. And the cost management is another benefit that we see here, as it reduces overfeeding and ensures effective use of feed resources. And here you can see an overview of the benefits, especially for the labor. We have seen reduction in all types, and especially in dairy cows. We have seen feed savings, as now we know how much feed each animal wants to have. And regarding the environment, we have seen reductions in energy consumption and less direct energy in cattle farming. And in other kind of benefits, let's say, we have seen monitor cow behavior with a high accuracy of 95%, determine feeding times effectively, which is very good to further develop the system and overall these technologies. So I have add here some challenges and benefits towards the option. The challenge is high initial cost in order to purchase them. Investing in a digital technology can be costly, and it can be said that we are posing a barrier for a smaller farmer, let's say. But I can say here that we have as benefit the increased efficiency and productivity. You know that digital tools can optimize agriculture operations. It can lead to higher yields, reduce environmental impacts. We have also benefits in sustainability, as these technologies are pretty much using the precision farming technology, the precision farming concept. They can reduce the overall environmental footprint and minimize the use of water, fertilizers for crops and food waste, let's say, for livestock. So I do see here that there are a lot of benefits that can be delivered to the farmers, either if they're small or bigger ones. Another challenge, let's say, that we see is the complexity and lack of skills. In most of the cases, farmers may lack the necessary skills to effectively use and maintain advanced digital tools. Here we have the e-learning and online courses now as we passed through this COVID-19 situation. We have all these e-learning things and systems which can help us, let's say, and make the learning process more easy and affordable for all the farmers that would like to receive some courses, let's say. We also have the challenge in some cases with connectivity issues. Rural areas are often suffer from interconnectivities, which can hinder, let's say, the implication of digital technology. As we know, most digital technologies do want to use, let's say, a connection to the internet so that they can pass to the cloud some data or do other kind of analysis, let's say. But we have also edge technologies that not need to use every time the internet, or they need, let's say, the internet connection only for 1 or 2 days in the month, so that they can parcel the data. And as a poor internet connection is a very major factor. There are already plenty of DATs which are operating with no internet. So I think this is something good. And we also have seen another challenge, which are about the data privacy. And in most cases, farmers may be hesitant to adopt technologies that collect and store personal data. And this is something that it opens a big discussion: who owns the data, etc. But the good thing here and the benefits is that with all this data, we don't know if it's good or bad to keep holding them and collecting them. And I know that most of farmers are hesitate because of this thing, because of all this data. But this is the only way that we can take data-driven decisions. So if we do have access to data, we can help to make better decisions, improving crop health and management, which is a benefit for all of us. And that's why we need to find a way to overcome this challenge. That's all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope I didn't make you tired.
Thank you very much, George, for this informative presentation on digital agriculture technology solutions. So we now have some time for questions. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat. to share your thoughts or ask for any clarifications. So if there aren't any questions, we can move forward with the presentations of Nikos Karagis from the Republic on QuantiFarm toolkit. Nikos, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Let me share my slides. Okay, I guess that you can see my slides now in full screen.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Nikos Karagis. I work as a technical manager in New Republic. My background is more on ICT and designing software. But in New Republic, we have a lot of experience on agricultural solutions, and we are interacting a lot with with farmers and farmers associations, and working with different type of technologies. So our role here in QuantiFarm project, but also in this academy workshop, is to focus on the interface, let's say, of whatever we saw until now from the QuantiFarm project, which is the QuantiFarm toolkit. So the next minutes, I'm going to present a number of slides, and also we will browse together the live version of the QuantiFarm toolkit. We will try to explain why it is needed and how it is renders and visualizes all the information and the rationale that was presented from Caroline and George and Dionysis. And then we're going to elaborate on the toolkit structure, the different pages that it contains, the different tools, and where each tool is focusing. And as I said before, we're going to see some key examples on how to use it. So with regards to this module of this academy, the main objective is to become more familiar with the toolkit's objectives, to familiarize and how to interact with it, to navigate through the online environment, and to try to integrate the toolkit in the decision-making process, which is the most important thing here, of an advisor. How the toolkit can assist an advisor on enriching the amount of information that he or she has in order to make a decision tailored to the context of its customer, of the farm that he tries to support, or the farmers association. So this is, in a sense, what the QuantiFarm toolkit is trying to do, is trying to assist the decision-making process of the farmer or the advisor. So why we believe that the toolkit is offering something that is somehow unique. This is also connected with the objectives of the QuantiFarm project, which is to promote the use of DATS in digital agricultural technological solutions in the European Union, but by providing tangible potential benefits. The main uniqueness, let's say, of the approach is that the evaluation of the performance of the DATS is independent. This means that QuantiFarm is not associated with any kind of company or provider of the digital solutions, and it also involves all the experts that are able to define a methodological framework for assessing the performance of the DATS. It also, as it was described in the beginning of this project, we have 3 years for evaluating the performance of the DATS in different contexts. So this creates a lot of knowledge with regards to the performance of the different technologies. And what we try to do through the toolkit is to render this information to everyone in an easy to comprehend way, but also to act as a point of reference in case that you want to elaborate further. As you will see, we have all the reports from the analysis of the assessment of the DATS in the test cases. The full report will be available, but also a short version of the outcomes is easier to comprehend is also available. So these are the objectives of the toolkit, and we are going to present through this toolkit the assessment results of the DATS for each test case in each country for focusing in different crop types. We are trying to do this in a user-friendly way, and also to provide search and filtering functionalities, given that the information might be overwhelming. And yes, and to I also need to mention here that we are targeting different type of users, farmers, advisors, and policymakers, by giving to them different ways of accessing this information. So, as I said before, we have in our consortium the capacity and the expertise to set up a robust methodology for assessing the performance of the DATS. This is driven by Politecnico di Milano, but also from Agricultural University of Athens. What we have done is that we have coded the assessment framework as software. So this also allows to automate the process, but also everything is open and public. So both the methodological framework and the code, the implementation code of the software are available openly, and anyone can review it. And as I said before, the assessment of the outcomes, the assessment outcomes for each test case from the DATS are available through the toolkit. And no, sorry. And one of the objectives and the obligations of the QuantiFarm project is to make the toolkit available even after the end of the QuantiFarm project. Now, this is an illustration of how the toolkit is the architecture of the toolkit. The flow of information starts from the left and goes to the right. So what we have done is that we are targeting in different data sources. Our key data sources are the outcomes from the test cases. So we have 30 test cases assessing more than 30 technologies, because in some test cases we have more than one technology used in combination. Then we are also integrating with existing platforms and inventories of digital agricultural technologies. So QuantiFarm is not the first project that makes the attempt to create an inventory of technologies. What is the uniqueness, as I said before, here is that we are also assessing some of these technologies. So interesting and valuable initiatives from, again, funded by the European Commission are Smartakis and FairShare, which already contain a list of technologies. And we are also integrating data from other sources, like open sources, like satellite data from Eurostat, etc. What we have done then is that we harmonize this data through the connectors or interoperability mechanisms, as we say, and we made them available in a common data repository where we are able to process the collected data, create the outcomes that are targeted, and feed different tools that are trying to address the needs of different categories of users. I'm going to elaborate in all this in the next slides. So as I said before, everything is openly available. If your technical partners are willing to review the way that everything is implemented, you can forward them this source where we have the code of the toolkit and the different tools and the methodologies for integrating the data. And of course, for each different tool, we provide all the necessary documentation on how this is designed and implemented, but also on how to use it. Going a little more into the different data sources that we are integrating. As I said before, we have three main categories. The first one are the test cases. So as you might already be aware, we have 30 test cases in different locations targeting different agricultural activities. It is on purpose, we tried on purpose during the design of the QuantiFarm project to cover all the different regions of Europe and different type of cultivation to an extent that is feasible to do that. So you can see that we have pilots in Cyprus, but also in Finland, in Spain, Portugal, but also in Turkey. So trying to have a wide coverage. The assessment is taking place already for 2 years, 2023 and 2024, and we have 1 more year. We consider that assessing the outcomes of the agricultural production it will be more safe to drive results, to extract results if we go for 3 years, given the changes in weather conditions, and you might have a bad year, and the next year the crops might be better. So having 3 years, we feel that it's safer. The outcomes, we try to make the outcomes as easy to comprehend as possible. We are really interested to identify the monetary equivalent of the performance of the DATS. So you will see a lot of reduced cost or increased costs with different colors, and how this is calculated per hectare. As I said before, the smart Akis and fair share, there are 2 inventories that we are integrating. What we have done is that we have built some kind of mechanisms that we are able to plug into the databases. Of course, this is in cooperation with the different projects and the administrators from the fair share inventory, for example. So any kind of updates, any kind of new technologies that are registered in the fair share inventory are also replicated to the QuantiFarm inventory. I recommend to also visit fair share, as you see here, the address, because a lot of useful information is also available here. The same happened with the smart Akis inventory, although smart Akis is not anymore available, but all the knowledge and legacy is included in QuantiFarm. Now, with regards to the data sources that are relevant with open data repositories, we are integrating data products from satellites. As you will see, it's useful for us in the policy monitoring tool to have regional data on, for example, crop types or changes in the weather patterns in order to assist decision making on a regional basis. Also, we are integrating outcomes from Eurostat, given that, again, for the policy monitoring tool, we would like to benchmark and compare with the indicators that are set or are already calculated from previous years from organizations like this, like Eurostat, and also indicators relevant with the Common Agricultural Policy. Now, about the actual toolkit and how it is structured, it's like an easy-to-use web page where we have a horizontal menu with the key information items like home, toolkit, test cases, and contacts. It's available. You can already click in this link and visit the toolkit. I need to stress here that the toolkit is, this is the first release of the toolkit, and we are working in the background. We are going to have a new release at the end of this year or early next year. So January 2025, the toolkit will be updated. It will include also outcomes from the assessment results from this from the cultivation period. From this cultivation period, but also we are going to restructure look and feel and the sophistication of the tools. The more data we collect, the more sophisticated the tools are becoming. And here some things might seem simple, but we do have the background and the framework to make it more helpful, as I said before, in the next 2 months. Going now into its tool. As I said before, the tools are somehow targeting different types of users. The recommendation tool is one of the main interfaces of toolkit, of the QuantiFarm toolkit, to the farmers and the advisors. The objective here is that the user is providing a number of properties, of characteristics that he or she would like to see recommendations of relevant DATs. This means that an easy example is that I am a farmer from South Spain, Murcia, and I would like to find a digital agricultural solution that will assist me on optimizing the irrigation. So the user is going to provide information about the sector, like orchards and olive production, and the relevant functionality that I want to see by the DATs, like irrigation management, the benefits that wants to get, something like optimization of irrigation, what language or cost might be associated with these technologies. What the recommendation engines should do is that it will search first if results from a test case from the QuantiFarm project are available, because we consider this as the most tangible evidence on the performance of the DATs. If we don't have a test case that is exactly matches these properties, then a similarity mechanism is working, and the most similar, let's say, outcome to the context of what the user is provided will be recommended, or a list of recommendations. So one of the replies that the farmer might get is the outcomes from the use of DATs for irrigation from South Italy or from South Greece, given the similarity of the climate. As I said, we are going to include in this next release also behavioral aspects in line with what Caroline presented in the first presentation. And already we have a first set of functionalities introduced, included in the current version of the recommendation tool, and that we are going to demonstrate in the next slides. The next tool is the cost-benefit calculator. Again, it targets farmers and advisors. Here, this tool is based on the work that George Papadopoulos presented in the previous presentation. So we have an analysis of about 100 digital agricultural technologies and their properties with regards to the initial cost and the benefits that these tools may provide through their operation. Here, the user selects the category of the crop activities or livestock activities, selects also the technology, provides some kind of properties of the size of the farm, the investment cost, the number of the years that is planned to use the technology, and the tool provides a set of cost and benefit indicators that potentially will be reached through the use of this technology. The benchmarking tool, again, targets farmers and advisors. Here, the objective is to provide an online digital farm calendar, meaning that even if an advisor or a farmer is not currently using a farm management information system or any other kind of digital technology for recording the everyday practices like irrigation, plant protection, harvest, fertilizations, and things like that. So the farmer or the user in general can draw the parcels that he operates on and start do some kind of record keeping of the different activities. Within this record keeping, we also ask from the user to provide the doses and the quantities of the various inputs used. And based on these quantities, we are calculating a number of performance metrics and indicators, supporting also the comparison of different parcels or different time periods. So for the same parcel, if we have a full farm calendar for 2 cultivation periods, through this tool we can do a comparison of the different metrics for the 2 cultivation cycles. We are also having some functionalities that allows to integrate, to upload metrics from environmental stations, like if you have a weather station in your area provided by a national network, for example, or if you already maintain a weather station, you can upload your data here, and a number of calculations are feasible to be realized. For example, here we have also an example for the chilling hours, which is related with the crop production of the next year for the orchards, the amount of the aggregation of hours within specific thresholds. Going to the next tool, the Advanced Decision Support tool. This tool is available as a pre-configured Excel sheet that you can download it and contains all the different pages and equations and functions that are supporting the identification of the most appropriate, let's say, digital agricultural technology based on a statistical analysis methodology, which is called strategic fit and analytical hierarchical process. The main objective here and the main issue is that this tool allows the farmer advisor, because it is a more advanced tool, to set what are the most important factors that influence the decision of the technology, and to go through a cycle of comparisons of the different factors and adding weights to these factors. So at the end, the user will have a report with scores on the different technologies and the offerings that they might have. For all tools, I mean, because these are all now, it's a lot of information and might be kind of complicated. For all tools, there is a detailed manual in a PDF format, which is available for download and for further studying on how to use them. And of course, there is also within the toolkit a Q&A page with all the common questions that we receive about the tools and answers to these questions. And of course, there is the support from our experts within the QuantiFarm project. So you can also send an email if you want to, if you have any issues with using it. The QuantiFarm toolkit about the policy monitoring tool. Here we target the users that they are in the decision-making loop, let's say, of on a regional basis, and on policies and how these policies might be affected by the use of DATS. So what is the rationale here is that for a number of a relatively small number of parcels that we have within a region, and we define as a region here the European Local Administrative Unit. It's called LAU. It's an official way for clustering the regions in European Union. So we divide the agricultural land of different areas in LAUs, and for selected LAUs that we do have evidence from different test cases in parcels located within this unit. We are trying to extrapolate and to create results on a regional basis. That means that if we have, for example, 10 parcels using a specific technology for optimizing irrigation, and we have another 10 parcels that they don't use any kind of technology for irrigation, and we have access to the amount of the water consumed in both categories of parcels, we are able to, as a next step, to identify within the LAU what is the total amount of agricultural land cultivated with the same crop through the use of crop type identification algorithms based on satellite images, and to proceed with an aggregation on a regional level on analyzing scenarios like what if all parcels in the area was using this technology, what will be the outcome, what will be the benefit, and the same for the opposite. What will happen if all agricultural land in the same area for the same type is not using at all any kind of technology? What will be the projection on using irrigation water in this case? We do the same for fertilizers and pesticides, but also we do aggregations for and projections for harvested yields. Okay, now I think we can go a little into the toolkit. So I'm leaving the. I guess that you still can see my screen, correct?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So as I said before, you go to this page, you can see the landing page. Here some notes. Is that we received a request that what happens with DATS, with technologies that are not part of the QuantiFarm project. This was also a decision from an early stage from the project that we're not trying to commercially promote the DATs that are part of the QuantiFarm project. This is a proposition as a framework for evaluating the DATs. So the QuantiFarm project is open to include DATs that are not already part of the QuantiFarm project, and to include them in terms of assessing their performance, or to also include them in our inventories, in our directories of DATs. So for both cases, and if a DATS provider wants to have the technology within our catalogs, there is a form that it requires a number of key information key characteristics of the technology. And by submitting this form, we are going to receive all the required input. We will come back to you. And yes, we're going to include the new technology in our inventory. It is for the benefit of the project to be as more complete as possible. I will go now to the test cases here, to the test cases page. So here you can see more details about the 30 test cases we have told you already in these presentations. And you can see also the countries, the responsible partner, and the solutions that they are under evaluation. Okay, of course, this is also available in the form of the map. And with regards to the technologies, okay, I think something. Okay, you can get more information about the technologies also through the inventory. Now, with regards to the results from the testing periods, as I said, as we already said, there are 3 testing periods. We already have data from the first testing period, and we are now in the process of finalizing the outcomes from 2024. This will be soon updated, and then we have 1 more year. For the first testing period, as I said before, you can see the achieved benefits of using this technology. For example, here we have used the GEASENS system, which is a smart farming system from Greece. And as you can see, it did really well with regards to water consumption. So we had a reduction in water consumption that resulted also in monetary benefit, but it didn't go very well with the reduction of fertilizers and pesticides. So this is just to also show that we're not trying to say that everything is perfect with the technologies. Technology is not there to solve any kind of problems in the world. It needs very careful handling and adaptation to the current context of its case. Also, as I said before, we have the full assessment report available for download. So you can download the PDF and read all the details of the pilots about the technology, the cost of the technology, and the benefits experienced from the implementation of the DATS, and how these results were achieved. So this is the same for all different test cases, and we also have a short description of the methodology that was followed for calculating all these results. Here is the page with the frequently asked questions, and now let's go to the toolkit. As I said, we are currently updating the toolkit, so most of the features will be fully functional at the end of this year. So for each tool, we have a page that describes how the tool works. We have a full manual of how to use the tool with directions step by step. And also a link to the source code of the tool. This is the code, if you are not familiar, this is the program that anyone, so this means that anyone can download this tool and install it in another system. About now the actual tool, the recommendation tool, the idea here is that we are browsing through the different technologies that are maintained in our databases. So if, for example, I ask for a recommendation without any criteria, without any filter, I see here, I will get here 531 different DATs. This is the total amount of DATs currently maintained in the database. So I can start asking more detailed questions like I would like DATs only for irrigation, or I would like DATs for plant protection. And in any case, I will get different filters, and which can be further filtered by these different properties. And I can also click on the title of the technology and get more information, and also a link that allows to go to the provider of this technology. As I said, this is available for you to play around openly. There's no restrictions on this. I'm going to the cost and benefit calculator. This is an instantiation, let's say, of what George Papadopoulos explained in the previous presentation. So we have two different categories, like we have crop farming systems and livestock farming systems. Under this top categories, we have subcategories of technologies for cattle, pigs, poultry, and smaller ruminants. And again, here, the different crop farming categories. And for each categories, there is there are assigned a number of technologies. Again, here you can see more details for each technology, and for the specific technology, we retrieve from our databases the information that is available in either in scientific papers or in the provided by the providers of this technology, of the owners of this technology. So all these numbers are retrieved from their sources, and then the user can provide its own adaptations, like the number of years that it's planned to use this technology, the total area that's going to be used in the farm, and the number of sensors that will be bought, and do a recalculation according to the different parameters that the user is providing here. Now, with regards to the benchmarking tool, here we also provide some example files, how to create a parcel, how to formulate your data that are to be uploaded here. To remind you that the benchmarking tool is the one that acts as an online digital farm calendar. So the first step is to create a parcel. We have an easy to use interface where you either draw on a map. So you identify your parcel or the parcel that you are trying to support. You draw the polygon and you click save, or you are just adding here the coordinates. So we have an example parcel here. And for these parcels, we are providing a form, a digital form where the user is able to add information about the various activities that are taking place, like I mean, the date that the activity took place, the unit of if it's an irrigation or application of some kind of input, and the amount and the unit should be go here. So besides having a digital farm calendar, which is quite useful, and it's now a mandatory requirement for many many operations in the farms, like also for subsidies from Common Agricultural Policy, also for certification audits and things like that. We are also able, having this information here, we are also able to reason on this, and to create what I said before, what I described before, the different. Okay. the different aggregates and summaries of the data, and also to do the comparisons if we use different two different parcels or time periods from different for the same parcel but for different time periods. The same goes with measurements from weather stations. So we allow the user to upload a data set with weather recordings. Here you see these some key items that are recorded in farms, like temperature, humidity, and wind, but we also support precipitation and things like that. And we support the calculation of, as I said before here, of the chilling hours. If we go for, let's see here. Okay, you see now, I mean, what I have done here is that I asked for the my parcel, as we call it, my larger parcel, for the data that we had for 1 month here to calculate how many hours the temperature was among the two thresholds, 2 degrees to 7 degrees, and to see whether the required chilling hours have been collected. Okay, the advanced decision support tool is the one that I said before that is available to download it and to use it as an Excel sheet. And moving directly to the policy monitoring tool. Here we still integrate data from our test cases. The idea is that this tool will become more useful as we bring more data in it. Here you see the LAU I described before. This is the actual boundaries of this LAU region. Within this LAU, we have a number of QuantiFarm test cases on cultivating potato. So the outcomes from this is to select the region, and for the selected region, we are aggregating and extracting a number of data products. So here you can see the statistics on what type of land cover we have in this LAU. If it is a crop type, the crop type areas, and some indicators relevant with the common agricultural policies, whether the area is protected under Natura 2000, etc. Now, with regards to the use of inputs, and more specific to the agrochemicals, what we do is that based on the evidence we have for the test case parcels, we are generalizing for the whole region based on the similarity of our parcels, our test case parcels, with the rest of the agricultural land in the region. So based on this, we can see projections on the amounts of the use of fertilizers and pesticides and the different types of them, and the same for irrigation. And we are also working on trying to do the same extrapolations for economic and social parameters. Again, the manual is available here. The source code is available here in order for you to have more information about this and how it operates. I don't know. I think we covered almost everything. Yes, our next key item here for the QuantiFarm toolkit that will be also available early in the next year is that it will be feasible for the users to provide a number of parameters that we are collecting through our methodology for assessing the DATS, and to automatically calculate the different indicators that you see here in these results. So we are automating all this process that you see now that it is done manually, and it takes quite a lot of time. So this also allows to provide the assessment framework as a reusable tool. Okay, going back to my slides, I think we covered everything here. Okay, yes, that's all for the QuantiFarm toolkit.
Thank you very much, Nikos. So if you have any questions, please do type them in the chat. I guess there aren't any questions. So I would like to thank everyone for their participation today, and a special thanks to our speakers for their insightful presentations and contributions. Before we close, I would like to remind you that you will receive an assessment questionnaire shortly via email. It will take just about 15 minutes to complete it. And lastly, we would like to take a group photo. So if you are feeling comfortable, please turn on your camera so we can take a snapshot together. Thank you, everyone.
Before closing, Tanya, one concluding remark from my side as well. First of all, I would like to thank you for attending the second UI training workshop. Special thanks to our guest speakers, but also to EUFRAS for their support in the co-organization of this event. We all know that you have received a lot of information in this training workshop that may be difficult to process at first in the first place. However, we hope you had the opportunity to learn more about our focal points, about digital agricultural technology solutions, and build a better understanding of their benefits and how you can actively support farmers in their decision-making process, reflecting on their specific needs and characteristics. As already mentioned, all the materials will be uploaded to our website and become openly available for further exploration and study. Additionally, we remain available, all of us, to reply to any questions or remarks that you might have, and of course to guide you on your learning journey in the field of digital farming. Thank you once again for your participation.